Hi everybody, welcome back. Ken Shuman along with Brian Butler here in the booth to present you the hot seat match in the 22nd U.S. Bar Table Championships. Live from the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno. We're coming to you from the Kamui Arena. And our coverage is sponsored by OB and by CSI. Brian, you told me you're kind of familiar with Sean McKay a little bit.
I am. He's from my area. I've played him many times. He lives in Medicine Hat, Alberta, I believe. He spends a lot of time in Red Deer, Alberta.
I was going to say, was that near Red Deer?
Yeah.
Speaking of Red Deer, and I've got to ask you this, whatever happened to Tyler Eady? Did he just quit playing pool? I know he was looking for sponsors for years, never could come up with anything, but I haven't seen him for about 5 years.
He went to school, I believe, to do something like engineering. And last I heard, he was still pursuing that he took a break to work for a while and build up some more. You know, it takes money to go to school, so he was looking to do that. But he doesn't play much pool anymore that I'm aware of. I saw him at a tournament maybe a year ago, and he still plays well, but I don't think he, obviously he's rusty because he's not in competition. Sean won the lag, which is a very, very important shot in this match.
All right, let's see if he has a break similar to Corey's. And
almost scratched.
Almost scratched.
I think the ball went in.
It did.
Sean works as a pipe fitter up in Alberta, I believe, and spends a lot of time in the oil patch. Doesn't spend his money on his wardrobe.
Not exactly a fashion plate, but that doesn't matter here.
Well, he finally got a new hat. That's good. Anyways, I won't give him too hard a time. But this rack is not bad, but not great.
I kind of like the stripes. Maybe start with the combination.
That would be a good choice if you can control the 10.
Yeah.
And if you don't have to cut it too much where you can't control the cue ball. But
right.
I kind of like shooting the 15 myself if you can, because the 13 is a problem.
It's
I'd
tough
like
to
do
get
with
to,
now.
right? Yeah, I don't think he can see
now.
the 15, or he would shoot it. Well, he did control the 10, and he got a friendly little bump now. He better take the 9 out of there right now while he's there. What do you think?
Well, he got away with that a little bit. But that was, I think you're right, I don't think he had a shot at the 15, so that was probably his best choice.
Well, the winner of this match will be assured no less than second place. I believe that's 3,800.
Okay, that got away from him.
And that is the case.
Hurt him. Sorry, Kenny. I
was
going to say that shot got away from him a little bit, and I believe he knocked the 10 in a bad spot. He does have a shot at the 12. And I believe he's either going to have to play inside English in position up for the 15 or go between the 15 and 13. Looks like he's going the former.
Might go right at the 1 with the cue ball.
There's the inside.
No, he did hold it, and he needs to maintain the angle to go to the 13. He's done that. You're right, the 10's kind of blocked. I wonder if he's even thinking of getting sort of straight on the 13 and just drawing the cue ball down the rail, 2 diamonds, shoot the 10 in the upper left.
That would be a good pattern, but this is a difficult shot to land straight on the 13 and not land where you have to go.
He needs to be on the angle like where the 3 ball is.
Okay, he tried to, I think he might have tried to open the 10 with that shot, and he is nowhere.
How about banking the 10?
If it banks, that's the shot.
Yeah, but
the 3 is...
Yeah, the 13's so covered.
Well...
You'd have to come.
He can rail first the 13. Worst case, he can get the cue ball maybe.
Looks like he can make it in the side. No.
No way he can make it in the side. I don't think.
I guess not.
Looking at them at the table.
At the table,
the monitor, I don't think he can make it in the side.
He called something. I think it's cross side. Yeah, and the cue ball hit the 3 and might stay right there.
Did he get it?
Yeah, I think so.
Good
and
shot.
once again, use the 3 to hold the cue ball.
Maybe partially hooked on the 13, but I think he can spin it in without much trouble, and that'll actually help him get position. So,
yeah, I like coming between the 6-7 if he's got that angle. If not, it's going to be really touchy. Ooh, boy.
He got there, don't worry. Well, he did not want to hit the 7, but I believe he's fine. So this is the kind of rack you're going to expect from Sean.
Good out. And boy, I mean,
I was going to say Ignacio is by far the more experienced tournament player at this stage of a tournament. So, but Sean, you know, he knows how to get it done.
Yeah.
And he's on a free roll, really. Like, you know, I think he'd be thrilled to finish third or second in this tournament. So, if he, you know, does well here, I mean, it's just more icing on the cake, really. He's had a great tournament. He's won his last 3 or 4 matches, hill.
Wow.
Including over Boucher, Jeff Boucher, a good player from Michigan, in his last match. And then he beat Corey Doole, hill, I believe. And at least one other top player.
Yeah, actually, I think
I've got Sosi, that. Maybe?
Let me check here. I think I've got that.
We can get it on the...
He beat Jason Shaw last night. Shaw, 5-4.
Oh, okay. That's right. Okay, Ignacio, the balls are still falling. Gotta like the solids. Well,
yeah, what about? Yeah, not because of the 5.
But the 15 and the 12 are a problem with the stripes, which he'll probably deal with right now. Make the 10, open them up. He's got.
Yeah, but
worst case the 11.
Yeah, but the insurance balls have solids in front of them. I still agree the stripes are the better group because of the 5 ball.
What he'd like to do is he'd like to make the 10 and hit the 12. However, that's a smaller target.
Well, yeah.
So what he's going to do, you know what
I'd want to hit the 12 here.
He did exactly perfect.
Yep.
Didn't knock the 8 in the side.
No.
But he did put the 8 in a tricky spot.
I think it's far enough from the side pocket that it's not going to give him any issues, you know.
And the nice thing is he's got the 14 as a possible final ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of just observed that now, and now he's plotting out his run such that he can finish with the 14, in my opinion.
Yeah, but what's he going to use to get on the 14?
Well, he could use any of the balls down here. Down towards the bottom of the table. He could use the 15 or the 11.
Yeah.
So he could actually go 13, 12, 15, and then the 14. Would not be too bad.
Well, based on where he put the cue ball there, his mind was, I think, made up to play the 15 now.
However,
and then,
he could finish with the 13. That's another option as well. So he goes to the 14 now and then finishes with, actually either of these last 2 balls don't play too bad to finish, so long as you stay beneath the 12 and go 2 rails to the 8.
I don't know if he can make the 13 now. I think the 14 may have him.
No, I don't think he would do that, though. I think he'd finish with the 13.
Well, I think he would, but
well, I think he'd
he's got it. Is the 12, makeable in the side? It sure looks like it is.
Well, on the screen it does. On the table it looks more tricky, but well, from that angle it looks like it's not a bad shot. So if he just stops the cue ball there.
Okay, he's got to be careful here. He
doesn't
run into the 3
or run into the 13 if he tries to avoid the 3.
Yeah.
So he's taking the 13 first, and maybe he's going to try and play the 12 in the corner to get on the 8.
Not now, he isn't.
No, indeed. Like
he's got to play it in the side and draw between the 3 and the 6.
And you can do this shot by elevating. And he might draw between the 4 and the 6 and shoot the 8 up table.
Well, he could do that too. I don't think the 8's on the rail, and if it isn't, that'll help it get past those points if he does play it up in the long corner.
I sometimes elevate on the shot to make the draw catch that little bit faster.
That's a real good point, Brian. It's a real good point to make.
Okay, he played the aggressive pro-Filipino style. Smoked that ball in the corner and drew back 2 rails for position. He's got to take his time on this shot. It's not a hanger on a diamond. On a other bar box it would be. But
he swished it
well.
Yep.
1-1. 2 runouts. 1 each. So I can tell you that there's a bunch of people watching from back home. Everybody's pulling for Sean.
Of course. Does he travel much to other events, or does he kind of stay local?
Well,
other than this one.
I don't think he's gone too many other big ones. He likes this one because, you know, he's comfortable on the bar tables.
Sure.
And, you know, for anybody who doesn't play much pool because he works. He told me that 8-ball is not necessarily his favorite game, but he does think it's the one he plays the best. So that's not. Cue ball's landed on the rack, so that's definitely going to need Ken to move. Seven is tied up, and so is the 12. I think the solids have to be the preferred ball because of the 13 is a big problem.
Right.
But there's a lot of balls tied up here. There's only actually, I mean, there's only really like 1 or 2 open shots. Now he's taking the 7 now, which is a good choice. Playing for the 1. I think his plan now is to make the 1 and then make the 5 in the side and spin into the 6, 4, 11, and then open them up that way. Go ahead.
I just was thinking that maybe he could get close enough to the 5, make it in the side, and just spin down a little and shoot the 6 in the opposite side pocket.
If it goes.
And open the 4. I think it does. I don't think it's kissing the 11.
If he comes into if he plays with inside English from an angle such as what he has now into that group, I think they just open right up and he's on the 3.
And he's got the 3. Yeah, unless he catches the 4 too low.
I don't think that's what he's looked at. He's going like this, trying to just go directly into those balls. But this, to me,
this has more danger.
It feels like it does.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It's hard to explain why, but
he might
it
be
seems
able
like the
to
cue ball's
just
going into it on a slightly different trajectory.
Yeah, he might be able to just roll the cue ball forward though, like I said,
he
and
might
maybe take
the
6 in the side.
That's touchy. Okay, he overhit that shot, and now that's the problem.
Now he's in a world of trouble.
He's got to get out the bridge. I think he's left-handed.
Yeah, he can't. I don't think he can reach this.
I think a right-hander can reach
unless he can. Well, he's left-handed. He may be able to lean over the table.
Yeah, but he needs to come back.
Yeah. I don't see how he's coming back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's got to really get up over these balls. You might have to use 2 bridges. And he's got to draw in and hit the top side of the 4. See, I think Kenny, he needed to hit those balls. He tried too touchy of a position shot for a table this fast.
Or maybe he was trying to just barely nick him, and he just didn't.
That's possible. It's hard to know now, but
yeah, if he needs a second bridge, I'll have to go get him one because there's only 1 bridge here. Once again, even under cue ball fouls only, you've got to be careful here because if you graze that 4 and it goes forward where the cue ball is, even if the cue ball's out of the way, it would constitute a foul.
And we will keep our eye on that.
Looks to me like he's just planning to make it. I mean,
but surely something goes if he's doing this. What value is there here?
I don't know. Maybe the 6 on the side. Yeah.
Did just nudging those balls like he did open something up? Does the 4 go in off the 13?
I don't think so. I think the 13's too far from the side.
Well, I guess we'll find out pretty fast.
And if, excuse me, and if he plays the 6, he's got to take care that the cue ball doesn't hit towards the 9-12. He's got to just roll it soft.
Bunt it as soft as possible.
Because he will graze the 11. He may have to. He's called whatever he's called. It's cross side, Brian.
He's banking the 6, and he's planning the cue
And the
ball.
11 will move the cue ball will move the 11 out of the way.
Okay, that's not too bad. It's there.
And the cue ball could run into the 8, so you got to be careful where the 8 goes. Because he needs a little speed to get this across table.
He got it, and he got a shot. Good shot.
He deserves this game for this out, let me tell you.
That was a clever shot.
A lot of knowledge in this rack. You could see from Sean knowing what he had to do there after the 3 ball. I mean, the fact that he recognized it was one thing, but then he executed it. So both players batting 1,000 again, first 3 racks.
Banking knowledge will save your bacon, right?
It'll also save your bank. Although it's not official yet, we think Mr. Ignacio is probably going to be crowned the all-around champion because Shane's out and he's going to get enough points. Even if he goes 2 and out from here and finishes in 3rd place, I believe he'll get enough points to surpass Shane for all-around. But that won't be official for another little while.
Okay, in contrast to the last rack, this one looks pretty...
Yeah, I don't like the 2 ball, though, for the solids. It's not easy to get on unless you played the 3 in the side and came around and split the 2 stripes to shoot the 2 in the other side. If he's going to play stripes, he may even start with the 2-15 combination because I don't know if the 10 passes.
He's looking at the 10 now.
Okay, if the 10 passes, that's the shot.
I think I would probably, if the 10 does not pass, I would probably start with the 13.
Yeah, he could do that, and he could come up and actually move the 2.
That's okay. Or he could play the 11 and then the 13 and move the 2. That might be even better, and that way he'll have, but he might tie up the 9.
Right, and he's got the 1 stripe.
He's got to deal with the 15 at some point, too. Yeah. It's kind of off by its own there.
Yeah.
He just touched the table where I think he wants the cue ball for the 15. Okay, the 10 goes. He may just have played position for the 15.
Oh, I think he definitely did.
So now the 9 is really the only... Well, this shot, he's got to get position.
Right. He can't afford really to run into anything off the 2nd cushion. I think I would just try to get out past the 1 and then shoot the 11 next. Because the 9's going to be fine as the ball before the 8. If he's got the 13 and the 14 as the after the 11.
That's what path. You know what he's looking at here is going all the way
to the bottom rail, 2 rails, 3 rails.
But I don't see, that's a pretty narrow window between the 8 and the 9. But these guys play so much rotation that you're used to these shots. The natural path of the cue ball, I think, takes it towards the 9. Boom.
That could have come out a lot worse, but it's going to be okay because there's plenty of room now between the 2 and the 14 ball. That if he got straight in on the 13, still the 9's a little tricky. How about the 9-11 now and bump the 2 into the stripe?
Could make it worse.
Well, yeah, I guess.
You know, like the 2 could hit the 15, the 14, and they both could go to the side rail.
That's a good point.
So his plan, land on the 15 where he can move the 2 again.
I don't think he can make the 15 now.
The 14.
Well, that, I mean, but nevertheless, he's got to play the 13 first, right?
Right, but I'm saying that's the 14 ball up there in the corner.
Yeah, it is. but he doesn't want to be too thin on it because he has to play the 9 in the other corner.
I think you just walk the cue ball right into the 2 here. Boom.
Oh, okay, perfect. And maybe stop 9 in the side. Where's the 8 going? Same side as the 9?
Probably. Right from that angle, that's what you would do, I believe. Could also go forward and play it down by the 5.
Looks like he's got too much angle to hold for the 8 in the corner, doesn't it?
Just pop it.
Yeah, that's what I said. 8 and 9 in the same pocket. Boy, he did a nice job here, but we've been saying that a lot.
Well, it is 2 runouts each. Neither player is shot and the other player is rack. But Sean is making his outs look difficult, and Ignacio is making his outs look easy. So now the question is, how long can that go on for? Can it go on for 5 games?
Well, I think
for
a lot
Sean,
of
it's gone on for 8 matches, 6 matches.
Well, I think a lot of it is also attributable to the break. Sean's second ball break is, not as strong as Corey's was, and,
right. And
Jeff's head-on break has been fantastic. So that's why Brian's working harder. Sean's working harder for his outs.
And it's leading towards a more congested table.
Mm-hmm.
But the priority is to get a ball in the pocket and then deal with the rack after that. And that's what he's doing.
When we were having fun with that trivia question from Canada the other day, and you brought up a name that I haven't had the occasion to say in many years, Edwin Montal. Is he still an active pool player?
He is. He's another one that's doing.
But he does. I haven't seen him in the States in 3, 4, 5 years.
Hasn't been traveling much. He's been working.
That's better.
That's the break he wants.
Yeah.
And the balls. Well, did the 3 stay open? If it did, he needs the cue ball moved again. I think the 3 is tied up. So far as it doesn't go to the corner. It's difficult to see for sure from this camera. Maybe Ken will take a look at it. He did not. However, the stripes, meanwhile, look pretty good.
Yeah, he'll have to wind up shooting the 14 where the 9 is.
Or where past the 8 in the upper
if it
left.
goes.
Yeah, it definitely goes to the upper left.
Oh,
in fact,
all
he's
right.
taking a look now.
Okay.
So he could play 9 and then 10, draw up the rail, and play the 14 in the left corner and the 11 in the
11,
right corner.
15, yeah.
And finish like that. This 14 is a problem, though. It definitely passes the 11. Well, the 11 will be gone, so it passes the 3 later.
Well.
But basically he has 3 pockets for this ball. Maybe just 2 if it doesn't pass the 1. That's not bad.
I think it passes the 1.
I would be inclined to try and get on it almost right now.
As soon as you can. Yeah, maybe even now. He might even hit the 1 and it'll help him.
He might tie it up worse, though, which is kind of what he did a couple racks ago. And
now it only has 1 pocket, and that's the left side, unless he moves something.
It's also got this pocket.
Does it?
The lower left hand.
Oh, yeah, once the 11's gone.
Once the 11's gone. I think actually, I was wrong when I said that getting on it now was a good choice, because that's what he tried, and it went wrong. I think it was better to try and get on it off the 10 in hindsight. But it's easy to know that now.
I might even think about the 15 right now.
How to get the 14 is the problem. Now,
Well, there's one other thing, Brian, and I don't know if there's an angle for it. If he was somewhere near the 8 ball, could he play the 14 off the 1 in the side? Well, it's not gonna matter because I don't know that he can get up there.
Now he blocked the pocket for the 14 to the lower left.
Yeah, his
Might
only.
have to bank the 11 to get a position.
Yep,
on the 10.
you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Third rack in a row where he's going to have to bank to get out, and still isn't out.
And even if he makes this and gets on the 10, again to do what I'm thinking, which is the 14 off the 1 on the side, how do you get near the 8 ball? And where his finger is about the only place he could go to shoot the 14 past the 8.
He might play this bank and try and draw between the 3 and the 5 and
yeah,
the 2.
Give him a two-way shot because you'd have the 10 for insurance.
You better focus on the bank as well. It's there.
Yeah, but that's not.
Now what?
I don't think there's a 3-rail path, is there?
There is a 3-rail path.
At what? At the 1 ball?
Maybe at the 1.
Yeah, if he'd have to hit the 1 right on the nose.
If he wrecks on the 5, he's toast.
Yeah.
So
but if he hits the 1 either on the nose or on the left side and heads near the 8, he could still cut the 9 in the corner. No, he couldn't. The 1's in the way. He'd have to have that bumped out a little bit.
Well, he can't do anything but try it. He's in a bad spot.
Oh, he has to.
And that's really the pattern, I think. Trying to go between the 5 and the
2.
Just above center with right English. Too hard.
Yep.
Correct.
Well, he's lucky. He's got a cross. He's got a cross corner. I believe it'll pass the 3 cross corner.
It's very, very, very close. He's
yeah,
also
it sure is.
If he needs to, last resort shot is the off the rail, off the backside of the 4.
Yeah.
And that might be the best choice. He's looking at the bank. You know, bizarrely, strangely enough, the 2-rail bank.
I was going to say
back and forth.
Double bank, right?
Might be another option, but I think that off the 4 might be his highest percentage shot here. It's a big target, the 4.
Yeah, but he'd have to also be able to run
well,
full into the 1 ball.
Right into the 1 if he shoots that.
Right.
You got to talk quietly because he could hear me saying this.
Well, if he catches the 1 too, but if he catches the 1 too thin, he could go in the drink. If he cuts the stripe into the rail into the 4.
He's seen the shot that I was talking about. He's going to draw full into the 1, I think, if he does this.
He's going forward.
No, he's just kind of lining it up, trying to make sure what the cue was going to do. But I think this shot lies better than it looks.
But isn't this more of a medium to softer speed shot? So you get the glance off the 4. If you hit this too firm, it may hit the 4 and hit the cushion short.
That's true, but he's got to make sure he doesn't scratch. So he doesn't have much choice. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. But he's got to play it so that he wins. He's looking at it. I don't think I'd look at it. I just, what good is looking at it do you? You got to play it the way you got to play it. He's going with the middle ball.
Nice shot.
It's in.
I'll clap for that.
And he ended up with position on the 8.
That was a world-class shot right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Good shot. Good shot.
Out.
Well, it was a world-class shot on the 4, but it was definitely a working-class out.
Yeah, to give him 2 games for that.
No kidding.
OB is the official cue of the U.S. Bar Table Championships, and nobody else can make that claim, just as Kamui is the official tip here at the USBTC. And they stand alone, along with our official host and sponsor, the Grand Sierra. right here in Reno. And what Sean has also managed to do with that world-class out is keep the heat on Jeff, and he's going to force Jeff again to break and run. Because a turnover here by Jeff could be his last turn at the table.
Well, cue ball got banged around, but no scratch.
All right, the first thing to check, Brian, is does the 5 go?
Probably.
Okay, because if the 5 goes, although the 4 is in a little bit of a funny position.
Might go after he moves his rack, it might go. I don't think he'll have any trouble getting it off without touching the 5.
He certainly has shots on both groups. Is there a trouble stripe out there? Well, not really. Maybe the 12, because it only looks like it has one pocket.
I think the stripe's the way to go here. Start with the 15.
Yeah, would you go down and take the 11 next? I think you'd need to. You don't want to be going up and down the table.
Well,
it all
that's
depends.
Kind of the problem.
And we can see the angle now. He would have to short side the 11. That's okay.
He's on the.
But I don't know. I still think he may lean a little to the stripes there, because if he can get good on the 5, he can put the cue ball right on the foot rail to access the 4.
He might be able to just go forward to the 11 right now without touching it.
Well, that's what
shoot it in the upper left.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. As long as he can miss the 3, but I think he's going to start with the 7 ball.
Well, if the 5 goes, but then the 4 is the next problem.
I think there's enough room.
Definitely chosen these. He's lucky to get that to the pocket. Hit it pretty soft. Did he get on the 3?
Yeah, I think he did.
Pressure is on him.
Excuse me. If he can't see the 3, he's got big trouble. But I think he can, based on what he's looking at next, which is the 1 on the side. He would love to go forward and be able to play the 1 in the corner, but I don't think he's got that angle, because he'd go right at the 11 with the cue ball. So I think this is just going to be a bunt. Cue ball maybe 3 inches.
They should call this guy Botox, because his face looks like it's frozen in one expression. I've never seen him like blink even. Maybe twice an hour he blinks.
Well.
Well, it's still tricky to get on, you know. I mean, like, he's got to hit 3 good shots. Well, 2 good shots here, really. This is everything, because if he lands with too much angle, or if he comes too far, he is not getting on the 4. He doesn't have the angle now. And that's where he wants to be, but that's a pretty tough shot to just draw there.
It is, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he draws it perfect.
Well,
no.
He didn't.
Okay.
Now
if the cue ball were where the 5 was, can he make the 4?
I don't think so.
I don't think
but
so
I think what
either.
he might do is soft kill it, and worst case he can rail first on the 4.
Well, that's
but then
what
the
I
cue ball
thought.
is a big problem.
I don't think he can. I don't think he can keep the cue ball on the short rail here.
I guess we're gonna see. He needs like. This is a hard shot to hold.
Yeah, and he can't. I don't think he's got no angle to draw it into the long rail.
Can't do anything creative like play the 5 off the 4. That's not there. He's in a pickle here right now. He's looking at it. I think he may end up having to shoot the 4 off the rail. Okay, he's looking at things like the combo and the in-off off the the 12 ball, off the 4 ball. Those aren't there.
The reason I don't like the in-off is because the 4 might tie up with the 10. The cue ball will have to be hit pretty firm to get out of the corner area where he's at. How about the 5 off the 12?
This is a big game. If he doesn't win this game, he's
will
like...
Will the 5 pass in off the 12?
Well, that's what he's looking at.
Rather than off the 4.
I don't really think so. If it does, he may be forced to play it.
Nah, he's going to kill it, go no more than the 2nd diamond, and play rail first.
Okay. Did he go too far?
He doesn't seem to think so, but
now
he's got to be careful.
On the 8.
Right.
If he wrecks on the ball, that's the danger ball here is actually the 11, believe it or not. That's the ball that's going to wreck, I think.
You think he's going to hit it firm enough to go all the way down there?
I think the cue ball is heading directly towards the 11 off the 2nd rail.
Yeah, but I think he's going to hit it slow enough.
I don't think he can hit it slow enough. Look at him looking.
Yeah, he can't go just past the 10,
if
huh?
He hits it that slow.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Unless he jacks up.
Big shot. Missed it. Missed it, and will it cost him the match? Sean has a huge advantage now. He can shoot the 10, he can shoot the 11, or he can play safe.
Yep.
He could also shoot the 15.
That's the first ball I've seen Jeff miss in what seems like days.
The whole tournament,
yeah.
The whole week.
Well, that 4-ball problem was always there from right after he chose his group.
I think he's got to shoot the 11. It's kind of free.
Come back behind the...
He could just duck. Because
come back behind the stripe.
Well, he could just hit this ball and duck. But he's made it. And now he's a big favorite to win this match.
Yeah, it looks like it's got the angle to pound this over the other side of the 8 and shoot the 12 next. Or he can just stop and shoot the 9 and then come for the 12. I like going the 12 next here.
The 12 is the ball that's got to go for him to win the game. Yeah. And that's probably what he's going to set up for.
Stiff center ball. And went a little below center just to make sure he took the 8 out of the equation. Now, Brian, he risks running into the 8.
Well,
as long as he hits it with a little bit of speed, he should be all right.
Let it happen, but I feel like, well, that's what he's doing. I was thinking he might.
If he hits the 8 on either side right, and he just full in the face is the only thing he's got to guard against.
Full in the face is what he hit.
Yeah, I think he can make the 9 in the upper left.
He's fortunate, and it's actually free-ish. He can just roll it in, play the 15 in the side next, and he probably won't leave a shot for Ignacio if he misses.
Right.
So he's, again, fortunate.
I don't expect him to miss.
He played it really, really confidently.
That better bite. That better bite. Oh, my God.
Just.
He's going to have to elevate and give it the little
They may need Ken to watch
jab.
the shot, but it looks to me like he's got enough room.
Yeah, and Jeff is sitting there right on the line where he can see the gap between the two balls.
Up,
so it's obviously going to be a little bit less of an issue, but he still has to cut this. Good shot.
Good shot.
Well,
just needs to go 4-2 up.
And breaking, isn't he? No.
Yes. It's there.
Yeah, he is breaking. He's breaking for the hot seat. You know, it'll make a strong statement, I think, just for this event. If Sean can win this match and at least assure himself, you know, to be in the championship match.
If he can do it, any of us can do it, right?
Right. And it's just, you know, like you said, the man's a pipe fitter by trade. He doesn't play all that much. He rarely travels to tournaments. And to come here and perform like this, it's going to give a lot of hope to a lot of other players of Sean's caliber, and maybe even some that aren't quite there but are close.
Already guaranteed, I think, 2,500 at this point. Okay, got to make a ball.
Oh,
Lost
that's the
ball.
only thing in the world you can't do there.
And he did make a ball.
Yeah, he made one too many.
Well, he'll get the break again at 4-4.
Yeah, it sure looks that way.
But did he miss his chance? You don't expect Ignacio to blow 2 gaskets. He was lucky enough that he missed 1 out.
Obviously, the 9 goes in the side to the left by the 4 ball.
Yeah, he's definitely.
And that's and that would be probably a good ball to use to get to the 11 before the 8.
Definitely.
You could even use it as the key ball. It's really the 13 that he's got to take some care with.
Well,
You could go 13-10, yeah, 13-10, 14. 13-10, 14, 3 rails out for the 11, or 3 rails out for the 9, and then the 11. Now it looks like he's going to shoot the 14 next, and use the 10 to get out in the middle of the table.
Well, on the screen, the 9 does not look like it goes, but it must, because Igor shot that ball first. So
Yeah, and this is a good pattern.
yeah. Now, just don't leave yourself on the rail
Yeah,
straight.
actually, I think he may wind up drawing the cue ball 2 or 3 inches here for the 2 rail angle to the
he
8.
could actually play the 10 now and the spin to the 14, but he's choosing not to do that.
Yeah.
Now he goes forward.
Now it's just 1 rail out. About where that little powder spot is between the 5 and the 6.
And he is about to land the cue ball right on the powder spot.
Target tool.
Oh, 4-3. Ignacio's break.
You know, one thing I am going to say, though, that I think I favor the shorter races here. I know there's been a lot of talk about, well, let's go to 6 or 7 and 8 ball. It's just too quick. But what I really do like about the race only to 5 is there's drama almost from the first rack. When you're, you know, when you're having players of this caliber, where one mistake can cost you the entire tournament. So I do kind of like that.
Yeah, the local cardiologists like it, but it's not really good for if you have high blood pressure.
I think Sean's adrenaline kind of got to him on that last break. He really
Well, the cue
didn't hit the cue ball well.
Right. You need to draw it a little bit more than he did
Right.
in order to keep that exact thing from happening.
Mhm.
It's really, you know, but he knew the importance of getting the ball on the break, so maybe that's what happened. Dropping like flies again.
Nice stripes, I
Stripes
think.
are probably
Yeah,
better.
even though
He's gonna have to shoot 2 combinations probably.
yeah,
but
and even though all the solids have pockets, the only ball he can shoot now is the 5, jacked up straight in.
And how do you get from the 5 to anything else?
Right, you might cheat the pocket and pull it out there for the 6, but then you got to hold. I think you have to shoot the stripes. You got to start either with the 9 or with the 10, 15. I think it's the 9.
10, the 9, and then playing position on the 11.
11
is
on the
route
side,
to go,
yeah.
and then play to the combo from there.
Right.
Make sure you don't scratch, which he did. Well, maybe he's going to save the 11 for the last ball. Still has to negotiate this properly because the combo, if he shoots combinations, they can. It's hard sometimes to control the
second
middle ball.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of plotting that out right now because he's right now he was just looking at cutting the 15 down the rail from somewhere over by where he is now. That looks like what he wants to do. Clearly there's enough room between those balls for him to do that.
And it will bring the 10 out into an easier position to play position for or from.
Well, I tend to think that if he's cutting this, the cue ball will not hit the 10.
You are correct.
Because he would not take a chance
Wouldn't want to risk
going into a bad
the 10
place.
being pushed near the 7, yeah.
And now the combo, well, doesn't have to actually.
You know, I think I would go from here to the 10 and leaving the 13 to get me to the 8.
He's still got the 11.
I mean, get him to the 11, which
Right.
will get him to the 8. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say, but the words didn't come out right. But he's got a much bigger area now to fall into, and even if he comes too short, it's still workable.
Well, Sean McKay is used to these hill matches. It's been, like I say, he's been through 3 or 4 of them in a row, and he is going to be in another one. He broke and ran out his last match against Jeff Boucher. So, can he do it again? He's going to have to.
Yep. And Sean is a pretty good team there Kamui has.
Looked like the European Mosconi Cup team.
Yeah, a couple Hall of Famers, Mika and Ralph, and a couple of future Hall of Famers there. Niels. Okay, let's see if he makes the necessary adjustment here on the speed and on the contact. Got to get a little lower on the cue ball. He did.
He's made a ball.
Things are opening up
Looks like he's gonna
nicely.
drop it
Things
in.
are opening up nicely.
Well, it's exciting stuff. You have to like this position. The 5 is a slight problem if he takes solids. I don't
If he
think
can
he can
get-
take the stripes because the 9 is just all in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And the 14.
However, if he could shoot the, what is it, the 14 near the pocket, the corner pocket to the right, he could get on the 9 on the side. But
He's
I think
gotta
you got to.
shoot
I
solids
think you
because it
got to.
just
You
gives you
got to
too many
shoot
more
solids.
options.
Right. Right. You've got to shoot solids here.
Just let yourself deal with the 7 in some way. It's going to pass the 3.
You may do it right now.
But the 5 remains a problem. Because it's by itself. Hands are shaking.
I
As you'd
actually think
expect.
the four in the lower right is the way to get to the 5.
Or draw to it right now.
I don't think he's good. Oh, off the 3?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to risk going at that side pocket.
No, I'd pull it back like with elevate a little bit. Okay, he's not doing that, so it doesn't matter.
No, he's going to play the 2 into the 6.
went into play position probably for the 4 or the 7 at the same time.
Yeah, I'd like to play
He'd
for
like
the
to
7.
hang the 2 if he could, I think.
Yeah, but at the speed he's going to hit it, I think they're both going to go. And that is good for the 7. And now the 4 from where he is now will get him to the 5 nicely.
Well,
if he can draw it back to where it is now?
I don't know.
I don't think he can spin around the 9.
I don't know.
What else can he do? Shoot the 4 now? I wouldn't want to use the 7 to get to the 5.
The problem is the angle is just slightly taking the cue ball to the left.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know, there's probably a little more space than we really
He
see.
decided to come to this side of the 4.
That's not good.
And he's out of line.
Now at best.
Now he's got to go 2 rails to the 5, and the 8 is as big as New York City, and he could knock it right in the side and lose the match. But he doesn't have much choice.
Are you saying 2 rails under the 5 and then the 5 in the long corner?
Well, he's got
where he's standing. That's what I
actually,
think.
if he goes between the 8 and the 9, he's fine. And if he's got the natural angle, which I think he might, he's really, really worried about going right in the side pocket or hitting one of the jaws.
Just
from
from
this line, it looks like he's got to draw this ball slightly. All right, we're going to find out.
What is he doing?
He's cutting it in the corner? No.
No way.
That is insane.
I think the back cut with a high ball will take him just to the
well, I'm looking
short point.
I'm looking right down the cue.
And
he might miss he might miss the corner, the side pocket low, but
yeah, but that won't get him on the 5.
It'll go. The cue ball will have too much speed.
Right, unless he tries to go into the 5 off the 2nd rail, and maybe even the 3rd rail.
He's in a bad spot.
I tell you, I
the only other choice, really, I mean, he could try and whack the 5 and get across the table.
You can jaw this in a heartbeat if you give it any speed more than pocket speed. You're just going to make it and take the cut.
He missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a good layout, too.
Brian, I'm surprised that he decided to play the 4 in the pocket that he played it in.
Well,
I still think playing it the other way and spinning around.
He fell out of line just that little bit, and that's what cost him. Ignacio still has to come with some kind of shot here. He may go rail first to make the 14. He's jacked up to shoot the 9. The combo is not very good.
Yeah, I'm just saying rail first on the 14. You risk running into the 4.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't think so. I think it goes right around the 4.
You think it goes around?
Yeah.
No, that's the shot.
He's looking at. This is, but he's still got to control it coming off that 2nd rail. I mean, I'm pretty sure he will handle it. Well, he feels like he just found $1,000 on the ground.
Yeah, he's got so much room to shoot the 9 after this, too.
He missed it. My word. And he left him the 5. And he left him angled to get on the 4.
That's the 2nd rail first shot that Jeff missed
in
the same way in this match. He's hit it too thick or too firm.
Now Sean McKay feels like he just found $1,000.
No, he found 2,000.
Whatever the number is.
Yeah, well, that was the 1,000 that.
But does the 4 pass the 15 in the right-hand corner?
If it doesn't,
he's got to go. He's going to have to worry about
10.
the 10.
Yeah, but you know what? I like coming at the 10 here with like center right, maybe a little below center rather than 2 rails forward.
Well, I like what you said, but he's going above center. Now he's thinking about drawing it. He should make up his mind before he shoots. No question. He will.
I just think you have much more margin for error coming at the 10 on that angle than with a high ball coming around.
Well, I personally would like to land somewhere near between the side pocket and the first diamond.
Right.
But that's not hard. That's not that easy to do.
Because you also need the angle where you're not going to run into the 15 with the cue ball when you shoot the 4.
Exactly. But if he's here, between the side pocket and say
in the first diamond, he
can do it. But it's not lying that well for that.
Yeah, he's going high left here.
And
that looks like superb speed there.
Perfect.
Unless he's straight in. And he's not.
jacked up was the only real drama. His hands are going to be.
Just go forward here. Get off the rail of foot. Shoot the 8 in the corner.
Exactly. Take your time. He just made a comment. Can it be easy? If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. If it was easy, I'd be out there. I think I would chalk my cue a couple more times here.
Okay, deep breath.
Smooth. Got to be smooth. Short backswing.
Just make it.
Watch the short backswing because he's jacked.
Oh, missed
no!
It.
Why would you pop that hard, Brian? Oh, why would you risk that?
I think maybe he felt like the angle wasn't such that he could just walk to the 8 in the corner.
Oh, boy.
Wow. What a turn of events.
I mean, they're each finding money and then they're throwing it out the window.
Well, he was nervous.
What drama here in the very end of the Case game. And both guys have played so great.
There's extra money on the line for Ignacio, too.
That's skidded.
It's skidded. Still went in. Oh, my.
This is just another case of when it's your turn to win,
well,
you can hit a ball bad and you're still going to come out.
It's a shame. Sean came with the winning shot, I think.
Oh.
And just ended up totally jacked up over that stripe.
Well, the only salvation here for Sean is he's going to get another crack at somebody to come back and get another crack at Jeff. But for Ignacio to give you the 2 opportunities that he's given you in the last rack and you didn't take advantage of it, the only thing I can say is that's just maybe lack of the fact that Sean doesn't play all the time anymore.
Right. And he's,
no, he's not seasoned. I mean, he's a seasoned player, but what I'm saying, he's not tournament hardened.
He hasn't been in this situation
right.
before. I know that.
Especially
all
a
these
guy against this caliber.
TV cameras and you know, a Filipino pro, like all of that stuff. But that was a great opportunity. He should hold his head up high. He handled rack after rack really well. So, I mean, he's going to come up a little short in this match. It was unfortunate that he ended up jacked up. But Ignacio wins. Sean McKay will be back in the loser side final. We're waiting to see who he'll play.
Okay, we're next due up here at 4 p.m. We'll go check and see who our players will be. And as soon as we know that, we'll post them up and be back with you for a 4 p.m. match. This is the 22nd USBTC presented by CSI. We'll be back.